Hello students, very good morning. So in previous class we completed the kingdom Monera, isn't it? So in that you studied about the bacteria, then cyanobacteria and mycoplasma. Okay. So in this class I will start with the next kingdom, that is kingdom Protista. Okay. So you know that there are 5 kingdoms in 5 kingdom systems of classification. Okay, so that was proposed by R.H. Whittaker, isn't it? The entire life has been classified into the kingdom Monera, Protista, Plantae, Mycota and Animalia, isn't it? So in that we have completed one, that is kingdom Monera. So then I will start with kingdom Protista in this class. Okay. See the members of Protista. So all these are unicellular eukaryotic organisms. They are unicellular eukaryotic organisms. The members of this kingdom, so they are unicellular and they are eukaryotic. So what about in the kingdom Monera? They are unicellular and prokaryotic organisms. They may be unicellular or colonial, or they may be filamentous like in cyanobacteria, but they are prokaryotic in nature. So in this one, where the members are unicellular and eukaryotic in nature. Okay, see most of the members of the kingdom kingdom Protista, so they are aquatic in nature. Most of the members, they are aquatic in nature. It means they are found in water. Okay, and few are saprophytes and few are saprophytic forms. Okay. Means they are living on dead and decaying matter, and some of them they are also parasites. It means they live within the body of the host, and also they cause diseases both in plants as well as in animals. Okay, so but most of them they are aquatic. It means they live in water, whether it may be fresh water or it may be marine water, and few are saprophytic in nature. It means they live on dead and decaying matter. Okay, so and they may be parasites also. It means they live within the body of the host where they cause various diseases in plants, or it may be in animals and even in human beings also. Okay, so that is about the distribution. And also the members of the Protista, they are cosmopolitan in distribution. Cosmopolitan means they are almost found every possible habitat. They are found in almost every possible habitat. Okay. So then, as I said, they are eukaryotic organisms. They are unicellular eukaryotic organisms. So where they show all membrane bounded cell organelles. They show all membrane bounded cell organelles. So like they have a true nucleus. Okay, they have mitochondria, Golgi body, endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so all those things, lysosomes. So all membrane bounded cell organelles are found in the members of the kingdom Protista, as they are eukaryotic in nature. Okay, so then they show all different modes of nutrition. See, all different modes of nutrition means they are photosynthetic in nature. They show photosynthetic mode, that is nothing but autotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, so hence they are photosynthetic in nature. They show autotrophic mode of nutrition, and they show heterotrophic mode of nutrition also. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition, that is also observed here. See, in heterotrophic mode of nutrition, so where they show the mode of nutrition like parasitic mode, it means that depends on the host. Parasitic mode, where it causes a disease, it depends on the host. Okay, parasitic mode of nutrition. Then saprophytic mode of nutrition, it means they derive their nutrition from the dead and decaying matter, saprophytic mode of nutrition. And also they show the mode of nutrition just like animals, that is ingestion, ingesting the food material, means they engulf the food substances. So that is the property of animal. So where they show ingestion, it means they engulf the food substances. So hence they show all different kinds of nutrition. So like autotrophic mode means they are photosynthetic in nature, some of the members, and whereas they also show heterotrophic mode of nutrition. It means that they are parasitic or saprophytic, or they may show ingestion mode of nutrition. It means they absorb they engulf the nutrition. Okay, or the food substances like animals. Okay, so then these members of the Protista, they show some special properties or characters like within the cell, that is the presence of contractile vacuoles. presence of contractile vacuoles within the cell. Okay, the cells are showing contractile vacuoles. See, these contractile vacuoles are nothing but a kind of vacuoles that is mainly responsible for the maintenance of osmoregulation. Mainly responsible for the maintenance of osmoregulation. Means the balancing of water in the body, especially in the cell. Okay, that is, they maintains osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure is nothing but the salt and water balance within the cells. Okay, so where as they are, most of them, they are aquatic in nature, they are found in fresh water as well as in marine water. They has to maintain the water balance in the body, that is, I mean in the cell. Okay, so then to maintain that osmotic pressure or water balance within the cell, they show special kind of vacuoles, and those vacuoles are regarded as contractile vacuoles. So they maintain a constant osmotic pressure, as constant osmotic balance or water balance within the cell, and those vacuoles are regarded as contractile vacuoles. Okay, so then these members, some of the forms of the members of Protista, they show cell wall. Some forms they show cell wall, not all. Like the diatoms. Okay, so they show cell wall. It means they show the characters of the plants as well as the animals. Okay, so they share both the characters of the plants as well as animals, and also they show some of the properties like Monera. That's why they are said to be the connecting link between the kingdom Monera and the other three kingdoms like Plantae, Fungi and Animalia. Okay, so being unicellular, they show the property of the Monera, because Monera also, they are unicellular in nature. So then showing the property of animals like doesn't have cell wall, then heterotrophic mode of nutrition, showing the property of animals as well as fungi, and also these members, by showing photosynthetic, they show the nature of the plants. Hence, they are considered as the connecting links between the kingdom Plantae, whereas Animalia as well as the kingdom Fungi. Okay, so some forms they show cell wall, some of the members they show cell wall, but the others lack cell wall. But the other members, they lack the cell wall. Okay, so this is a property of the kingdom Protista. Okay, then they show cell division. They show cell division, and that includes both mitosis as well as meiosis. They show cell division that includes both mitosis and meiosis. So this is common as they are eukaryotic in nature. You know that the eukaryotic organism, they show both mitosis as well as meiosis. Okay, so here also, as they are eukaryotes, they show both the mitosis as well as meiosis. Okay, so then they reproduce. The reproduction in the members of Protista, they reproduce mainly asexually as well as sexually. So both the asexual and sexual reproduction that is observed in the members of the kingdom Protista. They reproduce asexually as well as sexually. So whereas asexual reproduction is observed by means of fission, like binary fission or multiple fission. Okay, so that is what is called as asexual reproduction. That takes place by means of fission. That is binary or multiple fission that is observed. Binary fission or multiple fission is observed. Okay, by means of fission they reproduce asexually, and also by producing the spores. By producing spores also they reproduce asexually. So whereas the sexual reproduction that takes place by the formation of gametes, just like the higher organisms, they also possess the gametes. The sexual reproduction that takes place by the formation of gametes. So the formation of gametes and union of gametes, it means the fusion of two haploid gametes. So where it results in the formation of a zygote, isn't it? So the product of sexual reproduction is zygote. The two haploid gametes, if they fuse together, and that will produce us the zygote, and here the zygote is diploid in nature. Zygote is diploid in nature. Okay, so and this diploid zygote, this undergone meiosis. Usually here the meiosis that takes place in the zygotic level, usually the meiosis takes place at the formation of gametes, isn't it? But here the meiosis that takes place during, that is after the formation of zygote, that is meiosis takes place in the zygotic level, hence it is known as zygotic meiosis. Okay, the two cells, they produces the gametes, the haploid gametes are produced, and these haploid means they have single set of chromosome, and these haploid gametes, they fuse together forming the zygote, and zygote is diploid. then the zygote that undergoes meiosis. So that is zygotic meiosis. If the zygote undergoes meiosis, that is what we call as zygotic meiosis. Okay, if the zygote undergone meiosis, it is regarded as zygotic meiosis. Okay, or if the meiosis takes place during the formation of gametes, it is called as gametic meiosis. Okay, so hence reproduction that involves both the asexual as well as sexual methods. Asexual method of reproduction takes place by fission or by means of binary fission or by means of multiple fission or by the formation of spores. So then sexually they reproduce by forming gametes. Okay, so gametes are haploid structures, they fuse together forming the zygote, and zygote is diploid. So then meiosis that occurs in the zygotic level, hence it is said to be zygotic meiosis, or if it occurs during the formation of gametes, it is said to be gametic meiosis. Okay, so these are the general characters of the kingdom Protista, the general features of the kingdom Protista. Okay, and then the next thing is about the classification of Protista. See, the kingdom Protista is classified mainly into three divisions. It is mainly classified into three divisions. Okay, like photosynthetic protist, photosynthetic protist. Then the next one, slime molds. Okay, and the heterotrophic protist. Or that is nothing but the protozoan protist. Okay, so they are mainly classified into photosynthetic protist, slime molds, then protozoan protist, or they are nothing but the heterotrophic in nature. So even slime molds are also, they depend on the dead and decaying matter. So here photosynthetic means they mainly prepare the food. Okay, so here they are classified on the basis of nutrition here. So where photosynthetic protists, they are autotrophs, whereas slime molds, the live is usually on dead and decaying matter, means they are saprophytic in nature. So whereas on the other hand, the heterotrophic protists, they are nothing but the protozoan protist. Okay, means to photosynthetic, slime mold, then protozoan protist or heterotrophic protist. Okay, so these are the divisions. So where the kingdom Protista is classified into. Okay, photosynthetic, slime molds, then heterotrophic protist, or they are nothing but the protozoan protist. Okay, so in that, the first one, the photosynthetic protist. So that is nothing but where the members of this division, so where they show photosynthesis. Here, or the members of this group, they show photosynthesis. In this, there are three divisions were observed here. Okay, so one is Chrysophyta, then euglenoids, and Pyrophyta, and the next one is Pyrophyta. Okay, there are three categories were observed in photosynthetic protist. Photosynthetic protists were categorized into three groups, mainly Chrysophyta, euglenoids or euglenophyta, then Pyrophyta. Okay, so in this video I am going to discuss about the first thing, that is in photosynthetic protists, that is about Chrysophyta. Okay, among this, the first one, Chrysophyta. Okay, see, the members of Chrysophyta, the group Chrysophyta, so where they were commonly known as diatoms. They are commonly called as diatoms. Okay, so they were also known as golden brown algae. Diatoms are also called as golden brown algae. So these members were commonly called as diatoms, and they includes nearly about 5,500 species. They includes nearly about 5,500 species. Most of them are marine forms. Most of them are marine forms. They are marine forms, and few are freshwater forms. But most of them, they are the marine forms. Okay, so where commonly called as diatoms and includes around 5,500 species. In that, all of them are aquatic, but in that most of them are marine forms and few are freshwater forms. Okay, and they contribute the major components of phytoplanktons. They contribute the major components of phytoplanktons. Okay, major components of phytoplanktons. Phytoplanktons means, phyto means plants, planktons means floating. It means as they are found in water, they contribute most of the part of the floating plants. It means photosynthetic plants. Most means they floats on the surface of water. That is what is called as planktons. As they are plants, means they are photosynthetic in nature. They are considered as phytoplanktons. They are found along with algae in the water body. So okay, hence they contribute around most of the part of phytoplanktons. Phyto means plant, planktons means floating. Okay, so commonly known as diatoms, and diatoms were commonly or popularly known as golden brown algae. Okay, so let us look into the characters of these. Means the diatoms are the members of the Chrysophyta. Okay, so these members are unicellular. No doubt the kingdom Protista, that includes unicellular organisms, unicellular microscopic organisms, unicellular microscopic organisms. So as I said, most of them they are marine, and few are freshwater forms. It means they are found in freshwaters like ponds, pools, lakes or ditches, but majority of them they are marine forms. Okay, and where they have various shapes in the cell, like they may be circular, the cells may be circular. Okay, the cells may be circular, or the cells may be rectangular, or they may be spindle shaped, or maybe filamentous, or it may be filamentous form. The cells they may seen in various shapes. It means in different species. Like the cells, some of the species they may show circular cells, or rectangular cells, or spindle shaped cells, or filamentous cells. Okay, so that is the shape of the cell. That is in different species, not the single cell that showing all those forms, but in different species the different kinds of cells were observed. Okay, so then the cells were surrounded by the cell wall. And that cell wall is mainly made up of cellulose. The cell was surrounded by cell wall, and cell wall is mainly composed of cellulose. Okay, and one of the interesting thing here, the cell wall in these members, where there will be a deposition of silica on the cell wall. You know that the members they consist of cell wall, and the cell wall is made up of cellulose, and there will be a deposition of silica on the cell wall. Okay, the cell walls are get deposited with the silica, and that gives a glassy appearance for the cell wall. For the cell wall, and also one of the interesting feature here. So where the cell wall that shows various ornamentations. So on the cell wall, various ornamentations were observed, just like the lines and the ridges. Okay, like lines, ridges, and various designs which are formed naturally. Okay, so like lines or the ridges or the designs or various ornamentations that can be seen on the cell wall. So hence diatoms were popularly known as jewels of plant world. They are popularly known as jewels of plant world. So this will be asked for 1 month. Which groups of organisms are regarded as jewels of plant world? So diatoms as their cell wall that shows various ornamentations, like the lines or the ridges or the designs on their cell wall. So that is mainly due to the deposition of silica. Okay, cell wall is composed of cellulose, and there will be a deposition of silica there, and it looks glassy in appearance. So where on that there will be the lines or ridges or various designs can be seen, or ornamentations can be seen. That's why diatoms were popularly regarded as jewels of plant world, or they were also called as pearls of ocean. They are also regarded as pearls of ocean. They are popularly known as jewels of blackboard or pearls of ocean. That is mainly because of the ornamentations, various ornamentations on the cell wall. Okay, and here the cell wall, that is like just like the two lids. The two lids can be seen in a cell wall. Two lids can be seen in a cell wall. So where the upper lid and the lower lid, upper and the lower lid, two lids were observed in the cell wall, upper and the lower lid. Okay, see, the upper lid is what is called as epitheca. The upper lid is known as epitheca and the lower lid is called as hypotheca. The upper lid is known as epitheca and the lower lid is called as hypotheca. See, it is just like a soap box. How a soap box that consists of two lids, like lower lid and the upper lid, isn't it? So just like a soap box. So where the cell wall that is composed of two lids, the lower lid and the upper lid. So in the form of a, or is just like a soap box. So hence here the upper lid is called as epitheca and the lower lid is what is known as hypotheca. Okay. So then there are two forms were observed in the diatoms. Two forms. Two forms were observed in the diatoms. One is pennate forms, and the next one is centric forms. There are two forms were observed in the diatoms. One is pennate forms and the another one is centric forms. See, the pennate forms, they show bilateral symmetry or they are asymmetrical. Pennate forms, either they are bilaterally symmetrical, bilateral symmetry, or they are asymmetrical. See, bilateral symmetry means, what is symmetry mainly? Symmetry is nothing but plane of division. It means if we cut an organism, okay, in anterior vertical direction, okay, or anterior posterior direction. So if it gives equal, suppose you take human beings, if we cut ourselves or human being from anterior to posterior axis, so where the body is clearly divisible into two equal halves. Both of the halves are mirror images of each other, isn't it? The body is clearly divides into two equal halves. Both of them, they are mirror images of each other. That is what is known as bilateral symmetry. Bi means two, lateral symmetry, bilateral symmetry. Means the body on the anterior posterior axis, it is divisible into two equal halves. That is regarded as bilateral symmetry. Okay. So they may show bilateral symmetry, or some of them they may be asymmetrical also. Asymmetrical means they do not have a definite symmetry. It means ಯಾವುದೇ angle ಇಂದ cut ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೂ organism equal half ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ bilateral symmetry ಅಂದ್ರೆ anterior to posterior axis ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು organism ನ cut ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಎರಡು mirror images ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Both the halves are mirror images of each other. Okay. So hence that is the pennate forms. Okay. For example, like pinnularия. So where both of them, example for pennate forms. Okay, and these forms means the pennate forms, they are freshwater forms. They are usually found in fresh water. Okay, they are the freshwater forms. Whereas on the other hand, the centric forms, and these centric forms, they are the marine forms, and they show radial symmetry. Centric forms are marine. They are usually the marine forms and they show radial symmetry. See here, radial symmetry means just like you are cutting a circle or you are cutting a bicycle wheel, okay, in many directions like this. You can cut a circle from any plane, that will give two halves, isn't it? So that will give two equal halves or identical halves. That is what is called as radial symmetry. If it gives equal half from only one plane of division, that is bilateral symmetry. Gives equal halves from any plane of division, irrespective of the plane of division, that is what is called as radial symmetry. So these centric forms, they show radial symmetry and they are marine in nature. Okay. Then the cell wall, or within the cell that encloses the protoplasm, the cell encloses the protoplasm in that, okay, the cytoplasm is restricted to peripheral regions, means along the side. Okay, the cytoplasm, suppose if this is a cell, Okay, so where the cytoplasm is restricted to the peripheral region of the cell, means along the sides of the cell, where the cell that consists of a centrally situated very large vacuole is observed. A centrally situated large vacuole is observed in the cell. Okay, so ಈ diagram ಅಲ್ಲಿ in examination ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, just I am writing a rough diagram. So where a centrally situated large vacuole is seen and the cytoplasm is peripheral in nature and there will be a single nucleus in the cell. There will be a single nucleus in the cell. Okay, they consist of a single prominent nucleus in the cell and they mainly consist of the photosynthetic pigments. The major pigments here, just like plants, they have chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. So this is similar to plants. Okay, so where plants are also having chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B pigments. So just like plants, they have chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, the photosynthetic pigments. Along with that, carotenoids are also observed. Okay, then fucoxanthin, a brown colored pigment, fucoxanthin. Then the characteristic golden brown color, that is mainly due to the presence of a pigment that is what is called as diatomine. Mainly due to the presence of a characteristic pigment in the golden brown color of them, that is mainly due to the presence of a characteristic pigment that is what is called as diatomine. This is a pigment found in diatoms. Okay, that means along with this chlorophyll A, B, carotenoids and fucoxanthin, along with this diatomine, that imparts a characteristic color for them. Okay, so then the cell that stores the reserve food material in the form of oil or volutin granules. So these are the structures. Oil or the volutin granules, so they are the reserve food materials in the form of reserve food material. Okay, so they reproduce mainly asexual and sexual method of reproduction is observed. Both the kinds of reproduction can be seen. As I said earlier, both asexual as well as sexual method of reproduction is observed. Asexual method of reproduction that mainly takes place by the division of the cell. Okay, asexual method that takes place, asexual reproduction that takes place by the division of cell or by means of cell division. Simply the cells goes on dividing. Okay, see, the repeated division of cell in every generation that may results in decrease in the size of the cell. The repeated division of the cells for many generations that may result in decrease in the size of the cell. So where the size of the cell that was regained by the other kind of special structures, then what is called as oxospores. See, these oxospores which are produced during sexual reproduction. Okay, so where asexual reproduction that takes place by means of cell division, the cells goes on dividing and they goes on doubling in every generation, whereas on the other hand, sexual reproduction that takes place by means of oxospores. I said the continuous division of the cells for many generations that decreases the size of the cell, and that size of the cell that was regained by, it means the original size that was regained by the formation of other kinds or the sexual reproduction by means of sexual reproduction, that is by means of oxospores, where they are nothing but the smaller cells, they unite together forming the original size of the cell or forming a normal cell. That is what is called as oxospores that are produced during sexual reproduction. Okay, so they regains the original shape of the cell, means by the fusion of two such smaller structures or such smaller cells that where the original size that will be regained. So they are produced during sexual reproduction. Oxospores produced during sexual reproduction, as asexual reproduction that takes place by means of cell division. Okay, so the dead and decayed cells of the diatoms, where the cell wall that goes on accumulating in the water body. It means the cells die in the water body, where the cell wall that goes on accumulating in the water body and where it forms a large mounds. Okay, that is what is called as diatomaceous or larger peaks, okay, or mounds or mountain like structures or rocks Okay, that is by the formation of that is by the accumulation of cells and cell components or cell walls of the diatoms, where rock-like structures were produced. That is what is called as diatomaceous earth, because it is hardened because of the presence of silica in the cell wall. Hence, larger structures or rock-like structures which are produced, and that is what is called as diatomaceous earth. Okay, so this is about the characters of the division Chrysophyta, that mainly includes diatoms. So where the members may be freshwater, but majority of them are marine water forms, where they consist of cell wall made up of cellulose, and also the cell wall is deposited with the silica. Because of that, it gives a glassy appearance, and where it shows various ornamentations like lines or ridges. Okay, so because of that, diatoms were popularly called as pearls of ocean or jewels of plant world. Okay, then there are two forms in diatoms were observed. One is pennate form, another one is centric forms. So usually the pennate forms are bilaterally symmetrical or asymmetrical, and they are freshwater forms, whereas the centric forms, they are radially symmetrical. It means they are circular in nature. They are radially symmetrical and circular, so they are usually marine forms. Okay, so where the cell wall encloses the protoplasm, where it consists of the peripheral cytoplasm, and a centrally situated large vacuole is present, and a prominent nucleus is present in the peripheral region, where it consists of the photosynthetic pigments like chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, then carotenoids, then fucoxanthin, and the major characteristic pigment that impart the golden brown color, that is diatomine. Okay, so then reproduction that takes place by both asexual as well as sexual method of reproduction. Okay, so where in the asexual method of reproduction the cells will divide simply, whereas in sexual method of reproduction where axospores are produced, where they unite together and regain the original shape of the cell, original size of the cell. Okay, so the dead and decaying cells of the diatoms, where especially their cell walls that goes on accumulating in the water body and forming heap or mound or rock-like structures, that is what is called as diatomaceous earth. Okay, so this is about the division Chrysophyta. So in the next class, I will deal with the next divisions like Euglenophyta or Pyrophyta, and also the rest of the members of the Protista. Okay.